Time to put on a background. Not that one. Shrimp today. The cosmic holy shrimp. Uh, he he graces us with his shrimpy presence. Uh, I'm not sure why I'm so into Commander right now, but I am. Oh yes. Mm. Keep disappearing. Need to bust a nug. Today, this evening, I'm going for the Air Jordan variant. Damn it. I forgot to turn off my notifications. I have no idea what that says, buddy. I have no idea what that says either. Hi, Rafa. Hope you're having a good day. Yes, Beetlejuice. I guess I'm Beetlejuice to everybody now. Hey, Jason. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good evening. I'm trying so hard not to spend money on Magic the Gathering. Oh, hi, Jay. Good to see you. I got a huge knot on my back from all this rain stuff. Hey, Lawrence. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, it's okay. You don't need to apologize. No need to apologize at all. But it is showtime. Right? Oh my god. uh, yep. Classic classic times right there. Enjoy your Subnautica. Watch out for those Reaper Leviathans. Make sure you don't get like absolutely gobsmacked Wabam! Reaper Leviathan. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. Oh no, not Blood Kelp Forest! Oh. I understand these Subnautica terms because my brother is absolutely obsessed with Subnautica. And here we are. We are packed. That was a big old ripperoonie. Ripperoonie. Yeah. Ripperino. I want to play a couple hands. I want to play a hand of this, see if it's. The only thing super crazy about the Magic Commander format that is kind of hard to get used to at first. Shuffling 100 cards. Yeah. Let's see. Do I have ability to play? Kinda. There's draw. Untap. Henry's tapped. Draw. Untap. Rick's Matty. Tap 2. Artillery Spear. Oh my god, I pulled him. Forest Plains. Mana proc. Bam. Draw. Well, bam, commander. Draw. I'd be getting absolutely nutted on if I was playing Magic right now, or would I? You calling me? What? What's up? Okie dokie. Alright, bye. I love when I get called and say, I get told I'm not really needed. One, two, three, four, five. Play that. Play Mimeoplasm. Draw. How many lands am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Black, black. Tree colorless. Sacrifice. So I'm finding out my commander deck does in fact work. Bam. 2. Oh, I don't have the Urza's Mine. Oops. 6. 10. Ulamog. Rough. I need to smoke more weed. Oh, I was missing Urza's Tower. Duh. I'm gonna go out over some of my favorite Magic cards in a few that I have in this deck. And some of the absolute BS these guys and gals do. This is gonna be some fun stuff because I got a whole bunch of fun stuff in this. Excuse me. You know what? I'm not going to show you all of them right now, but I'm just going to show you some of the, like, important cards of this deck and what they do. By the way, a lot of these cards are going to sound like absolute skullduggery. Hey, Olympus. So, first off, we're going to talk about this card called Boneyard Parlay. Parlay. What this Boneyard Parlay does is it allows your opponent to pick to separate uh, 5 cards. No, wait. You separate 5 cards, you hand them to your opponent separates them in 2 piles, and returns one of the 2 piles to to the battlefield, and the rest are removed from the game. This is called Sidisi Undead Vizier. Now, Sidisi kind of reminds me of Void from the God Hand a little bit from Berserk. What this does is it comes in and it has this thing called Exploit. It allows me to sacrifice a creature. And when I sacrifice a creature using this exploit, I'm allowed to search my deck for a card. Can be anything. So next is Jaleva. Yeah, Magic the Gathering. Jaleva. What Jaleva does is when it enters the battlefield, each player exiles the top X cards from his or her library, where X is the amount of cards spent to cast Jaleva. It's got flying, and it's a 1/3. So you play this for 4. You always exile the top 4 of yours in your opponent's library, and yeah, you get to when she attacks, you get to cast one of these cards that you have exiled with Jaleva without paying its mana cost, which is insane. Next is the big goth mommy herself, Shieldred the Whispering One. Shieldred the Whispering One has Swamp Walk, which means if your opponent controls a swamp, this could attack your opponent without being blocked. This also allows you to return one thing from your graveyard to the battlefield during your upkeep, and at your opponent's upkeeps, they sacrifice one permanent. Next is Gandalf the fucking Grey. Okay? I got Gandalf the Grey because I want Gandalf the Grey in this deck. Gandalf the Grey allows me, whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, I can choose one of these that hasn't been chosen. I may tap or untap a permanent, deal 3 damage to my opponent, each opponent, copy that instant or sorcery spell, and choose additional targets, or put Gandalf on the top of my library. Yeah, quite a cast of fucking characters. Straight up. This guy is called Nekusar. Nekusar allows me to draw an additional card. It makes everybody draw an extra card at their upkeep, and it deals 1 damage when that person draws. So this just allows you to draw 2 per turn. Now, here is one of the most bullshit cards I have in my deck. This guy is called Karn Liberated, and look at those abs. Look at those abs. What Karn does is it allows me to remove a card from my opponent's hand, um, exile 1 target permanent, or I can minus 14 from this and restart the game, leaving everything exiled that's already exiled. So That's some crazy shit right there. Imagine just being told, "Well, this card says restart the game, so let's restart the game." This is Kozilek, the Great Distortion. This creature has some crazy stuff that allows me to draw cards. If I have less than 7 cards, I draw cards equal to the difference. And it has menace, so it can only be blocked by more than 2 creatures. And I discard a card with value mana value X to counter a card with mana value X. So it just allows me to counter stuff. Now here's the other Eldrazi I play. This is Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. This thing, when it comes into the battlefield, I exile 2 target permanents. It's indestructible, and whenever it declares an attack, I exile the top 20 cards of my opponent's deck. Yeah. Warhammer is pretty based. I love Warhammer. Chaos Marines. Now, this is the last card I'm going to show y'all. This is Nicobolus, the God Pharaoh, right? Ulamog is one of my favorite cards in the entirety of Magic the Gathering. This is Nicobolus. What Nicobolus does is um, it has all loyalty abilities of all other planeswalkers on the battlefield. It also has the ability to start the target planeswalker or creature. I draw a card, discard a card, and um, this last one says -8 creature players who don't control a legendary creature or planeswalker lose the game. So if my opponent doesn't have any legendary creatures or planeswalkers by the time I neg this thing, they're done. They're done. And I'm gonna tell you one thing about this deck. This entire deck is pretty much legendary creatures. All legendary creatures with the exception of a few. Because my commander is this character named Joda, the Unifier. Now, Joda the Unifier has an effect where my legendary creatures I control gain XX, and where X is the number of legendary creatures I control. And whenever I cast a legendary spell from my hand, I exile cards from the top of my library until I exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value, and I could play it without paying its mana cost. So, one thing about Joda the Unifier is Joda the Unifier just recently got a reprint. You see, I got one of the original Joda prints right there. But Joda is SpongeBob fucking SquarePants. There was a release recently where there was cards with art from SpongeBob SquarePants. So, lo and behold, there's a SpongeBob Magic the Gathering card that I'm going to be using as my commander. It's going to be insane. Bro, if they added Spawn to Magic, that would be insane. They just added Deadpool to Magic. They just had Deadpool, and I bought that. A pretty penny later, I worked my ass off for it, and I got me it for my birthday that's coming up. I bought myself my birthday present earlier because this king needed to celebrate a little early. I need to celebrate as many wins as I got. And this Deadpool crossover dropping April 1st, I did not anticipate. But I had no idea I'd want it so much. Ugh. Oh, I'm stretching my legs right now. It feels good. Mm. You secured the Benjamin. That's epic. What type of Benjamin you got? Oh, sweet. That's dope. That's pretty nice. A 2 Grammy? Now that's epic. That's epic. Yeah. I want a little bit more of this Air Jordan tonight. I can't believe it's like already. I can't believe it's already fucking April 3rd. Where'd this year go by? I know that I've done a video every day, but sometimes it's so fleeting. It's like, I did the video. I did this many videos already? Holy shit. Like, today's episode 2 of posting a weird video every day until I become famous. Season 27. I need to drop an EDM album. I'm going to drop an EDM album. Then it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be songs about bad gas because I had corned beef and cabbage for dinner. Speaking of Warhammer 40k, I wanted to get some of the Warhammer 40k cards because there was Warhammer 40k Magic the Gathering cards that came out recently. And that's pretty tight. That is pretty tight. I need to raise the energy up. It's pretty dead for Thursday. Ah! 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 Just start charging like a Super Saiyan. Just start screaming, near shitting myself. Hush now, don't you cry. Why won't you wipe the teardrops away from your eyes? Fucking love that song so much. Silent Lucidity by Queensryche. Actually, That was a little impromptu slam diggery. You know, Thursday's feeling pretty dead. Today is a day where the vibe isn't necessarily happening here today. So, I'm gonna call it quits and be a little productive and have some time to myself. So, like, comment, subscribe, drink your water.